Lucas County Commissioner Pete Gerken said today was a monumental day for the county. Why? Well, because the prosecutor's office announced the start of its first conviction integrity unit. This is a special unit created to investigate claims of innocence. It's something our 11 Investigates team has been pushing for since our 2019 investigation, Guilty Without Proof. Lead investigator Brian Duggar was at that news conference. He joins us now to discuss the details of this new unit. Brian, you have to be excited about this announcement today, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very exciting day, and I'm actually very happy that there seemed to be a lot of good intentions. Everybody said all the right things, and this unit's going to have the full support of the Lucas County Commissioners. Like they're funding them, they're giving them the money they need. Ideally, you like to have this unit be completely independent of the prosecutor's office, maybe have a defense attorney come in and head it. In this case, it's Allie Brayman, who's actually with the prosecutor's office, but I hear really positive things about her. She's really well thought of. She is a University of Toledo Law School graduate, and she did her initial intern at a public defender's office, so you know that at least she has that heart of making sure that there's justice in all these cases.
Yeah, let's take it back a little bit. Your Guilty Without Proof series or piece that you put together, these are two men who were convicted for a crime they didn't commit, and it took a lot of effort, but they were released. And so what is the role then of a conviction integrity unit? What exactly is that?
Yeah, so ideally you'd like the conviction integrity unit, they would have independent investigators who are going to review the evidence in the case, maybe interview witnesses, look at the court transcript and see how that all transpired. So that's not exactly going to happen initially. You would also ideally like to be able to see a spot where people can submit cases, like online, something like that. But initially these cases are going to be coming from internal references from other attorneys in her office. Pete Gerken has submitted a couple cases. And you mentioned Guilty Without Proof. I mean, they were released after our investigation, but they were forced to take an offered plea, which is somewhat of an admission of guilt. It's saying, hey, we're not admitting guilt, but it is essentially a guilty plea. And when you look at the things that they're looking for with this conviction integrity unit, they said it's going to be someone who is alive, who's incarcerated, who no longer has any appeals left. So our guys, Wayne and Carl, they would not fall under that, but I did ask Prosecutor Bates about that, and she said, we are not ruling out. We will look sometime down the road probably at offered pleas and even people who pleaded guilty. Okay,
so there are some eligibility requirements there associated with this, but there are a number of these units around the country. Some of them have little impact. So what do you think about the success? What do you think we're going to see here?
Yeah, I mean, so what we're hoping to see exonerations. Up in Wayne County, they've had dozens of exonerations over the years, but I think it's something roughly like 50% of the CIUs that we see around the United States have zero exoneration. So we're going to judge them by exonerations. And this is something that we have pushed for 5 years at this point. So that we're going to be all over this, and we're going to make sure that they're doing some of those promises that we heard today, that they're seeking justice, and if someone is wrongly convicted, they're going to do everything they can to correct that. So we're going to hold them to that, and so hopefully we do see some exonerations.
And they said all the right things today, so we'll see what happens. But when is all of this going to get started?
Yeah, it is started right now.
Okay.
Julia Bates said this is a kickoff, and they are actually looking at 5 cases right now, and 2 of them have been provided to them by Pete Gerken, but 5 cases, that's a pretty good start.
Okay, well, I know, like you said, you'll continue to stay on it, and we'll look forward to that, Brian. Thank you.